session. Today is Tuesday, February 11th. As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. Please ensure your phone line is muted. Thank you. First, we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner O'Grady.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for being here today. As we continue to celebrate Black History Month, I would like to take a moment to highlight something especially meaningful to me: Black Greek letter organizations. As a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, I've experienced firsthand the deep sense of sisterhood, service, and commitment to these organizations inspire. Black Greek organizations were founded during one of the most challenging periods in American race relations. These organizations were built on the principles of personal excellence, racial empowerment, community service, civic engagement, and strong bonds of brotherhood and sisterhood. Their formation coincided with pivotal moments in the nation's history, including the rise of Jim Crow laws, the spread of systemic racism, and widespread racial violence and discrimination. Despite these challenges, Black Greek letter organizations have remained pillars of leadership, education, and social justice in our communities. I'd like to now take a moment to acknowledge any members of the Divine Nine present in the audience today. Please stand and be recognized. All right. The Divine Nine represents a group of historic Black Greek letter organizations, each founded on the principles of scholarship, leadership, service, and community empowerment. These esteemed organizations include Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. Your unwavering commitment to service, civic engagement, and uplifting our community speaks to these organizations' powerful and enduring legacy. And we have members of the D9 represented up here on the dais. Thank you for your commitment to sisterhood as well as to brotherhood. And so, additionally, before we continue with our agenda, I'd like to invite everyone, well, before I do that, I didn't know if anyone from representing a D9 organization had anything that they wanted to add about their commitment to their organization, why they joined, and what it means to them to be in service and in leadership at this point in time. And I'll turn it over to my colleague first if you want to add.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you for including the Divine Nine Black Greek letter organizations as part of Black History Month. You know, for those who are not familiar with the Divine Nine, as Commissioner Crawley just shared with you, one thing that you'll see consistently throughout a fraternity or sorority is the pride that exudes from each member's representation of those colors and those Greek letters. And the idea is it's not really about my fraternity is better than that fraternity or my sorority is better than that sorority. It's really about a common principle of focus to impact and improve, more importantly, society. Most people think that it's about the Black organizations, but these organizations were created in a time where, quite frankly, Blacks were not welcome into other society-improving organizations. And so as a result, you've got these fraternities and sororities that were created as a way for people to have a positive impact on society. And it stuck. It has meaning. And there are generations of families who are part of Greek letter organizations, but more importantly, continue the work as a professional, as an adult, that improves society. I'd be remiss if I didn't share with you a couple quick things. One, I'm reading a book right now called, it's called The Rise and Betrayal of the Freedmen's Bank. And it's about the first Black-owned bank in American history called Freedmen's Bank that was created after the Civil War. So the focus on the book is about how quickly the bank grew and how quickly it fell. But the underlying concept was that the bank was created because after the Civil War, even the people, the black people who fought in the Civil War, could not put their money into banks. And so, as a result, they were burying it in shoeboxes in the backyard, or they were in the ground, and they were, keeping it in, cookie jars around the house, and so it started what has carried over from generation to generation a financial literacy growth that, quite frankly, has allowed that period of time to still reverberate throughout the generations. And I share that because it's the same concept for Black Greek letter organizations created to address an issue in a time where black people were excluded from higher education, were excluded from affinity groups and societal impact groups, and it's the same concept of why when you go back to the original creation of our country. And so we kid and we joke and we smile and we laugh about it, but I can assure you the work that is being carried out is incredible, a demonstration of the impact of Black history on American history. One of the things, I'll just point out one Greek letter organization to give you a sense of the real impact, and that's the AKAs. No offense to anybody else, but I'm going to say, as a banker, I tend to, away from this, as a banker, I tend to focus on financial things, as you can probably guess. And one day I decided to just look up what each fraternity's national organization, or they're all international actually, international organization was doing. And the size of the AKA's foundation could rival just about any large foundation on the globe. It's the largest of its kind in almost all of the Greek letter organizations. And I think they have a bank, they have a credit union, and they're a business, And I point them out because the others have similar versions, not as robust as the AKs, but the point is, investing in these organizations and supporting people that are part of these organizations is not supporting Black history. It is simply supporting American history. And I can give you example after example, and I hope that you'll do your own homework and see example after example of how the impact of Black Greek letter organizations have had great impact on American history. And so I'm proud to wear my fraternal colors, the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, but I have to be honest with you, I'm proud of all of the fraternities and sororities. And every time I see them, I get a flutter in my stomach and a warming in my heart because I know the kind of people that have committed their time and their life, portion of their life, to that work. It doesn't mean you're less than if you're not a part of them. It only means that you do it in other ways. But it sets a tone, and that's, to me, really what the movement is about and why you see so much growth. I see people all the time. I what's referred to as went over when I was a sophomore in college. But I'm amazed and often fascinated and thrilled to see so many people come into these Greek letter organizations later in life because they understand the value that the organization brings to society. And that, to me, is even more meaningful, or if at least just as when I started as a younger person and may not quite appreciated all of the things that we do as a Black Greek letter organization. So I just want to say, if you see someone wearing the colors today, and they're noticeable, you won't miss them, You don't have to guess, is that Black Greek letter organization? You'll know. Say something. Ask them about the history of their organization. Ask them about their experience. Ask them about their organization's contribution to American history. And I'm absolutely certain you'll be fascinated, but more importantly, pleased when you learn of the tradition and the impact that these organizations have had on society.
Thank you, Commissioner Boyce. I'll turn it over to Madam Prosecutor, Administrator Wilson.
Thank you, President Crawley. I would be remiss as well if I did not acknowledge that our service to these organizations, no matter which organization, it is a lifetime commitment. And I'm grateful for Vice President Harris, who, for all intents and purposes, helped to introduce Black collegiate life and fraternity and sorority life to the broader American public. There are many folks who assume that participation in fraternities and sororities ends at your undergraduate experience. We know that not to be the case, that our service really begins after we leave college campuses. And many of our organizations provide opportunities for individuals to join these organizations as an alumni. And so it demonstrates our commitment to broader the rights and experiences of those beyond just being on college campuses. And so when I think about my organization, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, we were founded in January of 1913. Our first act as an organization was to participate in the Women's Suffrage March of 1913, 2 months after our founding. And this organization of Black women marched at the back of this parade, of this demonstration, knowing that its act of marching on behalf of all women in this country would not mean that they would actually get the right to vote, but that white women and eventually Black women would have the right to vote. And you can see acts like this all across the Divine Nine organizations, where these folks, these people who committed their lives to service, made choices on the behalf of all those in our country and most certainly in our respective communities. And so you best believe that these organizations will continue to be on the front lines as many of our rights and privileges are being attacked right now. And so I want to thank all those who have said yes to serve in whatever capacity they can, no matter what color or Greek letter organizations that they serve in. But I know for certain that that individual is committed to doing the work of this community. And so I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity to continue to serve my community in this capacity as well. Thank you, Commissioner Crawley.
Thank you. Administrator Wilson.
Thank you, President Crowley, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce. Our service has been a repeated theme, and I think when you think about Divine Nine organizations, members of the National Panhellenic Council, service rises to the top. I think mentorship is also important. Some of the largest figures in my life professionally have been members of these same organizations. And some of them don't happen to wear the colors that I wear today as a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. They're members of other organizations, but they are all grounded in deep religious beliefs, beliefs in making the community better. I think about the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. in Memphis, Tennessee, on the balcony of the Lorraine Hotel. Standing beside him as when he was assassinated as a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, was a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, a member of Omega Psi Phi, and a member of Phi Beta Sigma. And that is a demonstration of firsthand what these organizations mean. The organization I belong to happened to be named twice, and there's a reason for that too. It was founded in 1911 on the campus of Indiana University. As Kappa Alpha Nu, just so happened there was an athletic event, and the name was changed in a slur, Kappa Alpha Nigger. And that had a profound effect on history right away. And it just was an example of, as Commissioner Boyce indicated, that these organizations were founded when they were not exactly welcomed on the campuses that they were founded. It was to give men of similar ambitions and desires to come together and collectively uplift themselves. When you read the resumes of the founders of these organizations, it just blows your mind. It just says, okay, I need to do a little bit more before I get done at this thing called life. When you look at what these people did, starting in 1911, the founders of my organization. So I would just say, when you think about a Divine Nine organization, it is much deeper. Yes, there are social aspects of membership, but a lot of the social aspect of membership is connected to brotherhood and sisterhood, because many times in life you may relocate to another city, and members of the organization that you belong to will shock you that they will embrace you in a community and help you become onboarded in that community. So that is a network you in, and you're in it for life truly, and it's across all the organizations. Thank you, President Crowley.
Thank you, and I will keep my comments brief. Thank you all to all my brothers and sisters of the D9 organizations, but I just wanted for everyone to understand, if you are a member of a D9 organization, we do not get the opportunity to be complacent. Anytime there is a peak or a semblance of injustice, we have an obligation to rise up, to speak out, to show up, to fight against injustice, no matter who it is, who it's being done to. And so many times when you see things that are happening in the community, you see us on the front row. Last week I made a joke with my colleague right here about a pen or something. But, I think she understood that, listen, if there's a peak of injustice, I have Vaseline in my bag and I will pop my earrings off, because we all have to collectively come together to make sure that we are showing up and fighting against injustice and fighting for rights that we are all obligated, we are all entitled to as citizens of this country. So I am a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I crossed in spring of '97. It has always been a Delta, as well as AKs, but majority Deltas as I was growing up, who instilled in me the importance of education when I didn't think I would ever go to college. But a group of Deltas came around me and said, no, you're going. And so they exposed me to several things as it relates to education. I think about Commissioner O'Grady when he says, I travel with an entourage, and that's purposeful, because one of the things that I've always taught, that you bring people in the room because you can't wait for them to get to the table to then arrive. They need to be exposed before they get there. And so I'm thankful for, this dais and my colleagues and all of you who see, you don't, some people don't really understand, because I think I was saying, D'Amica, people look at our organizations and they're like, oh, it's just about the stepping. It is so much bigger than that. We are in after-school programs. We are in marches. We are writing legislation. We do so much just so that everybody can have the opportunity to the rights that we are entitled to. So thank you, commissioners.
Thank you. And I'll just end and say, as these organizations were started, as Commissioner Boyce said, because we were excluded from traditional organizations at the time, these organizations over time have not been exclusionary. They are inclusive. I know Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated has members of all walks of life, all races, colors, and creeds. And so, and we are about, service and excellence. And so it's interesting, though we were created because we were excluded, we are inclusive. So thank you all for your service.
Commissioner, we're not going to say anything about how you announced. I'm going to say this to prosecutor. Did you hear Alpha Kappa Alpha? Right. It was a little different.
I mean, she is the president, so, she's the president, so.
Thank you all. You caught it. Additionally, before we continue with our agenda, I'd like to invite everyone to the Thrive Together celebration on Wednesday, February 12, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. County Administrator Ken Wilson and I will share remarks and join county employees and residents at the Thrive Together Resource Fair at the Harmony Project on 4411 Tamarack Boulevard in Columbus. This event will feature culinary delights, cultural performances, and community storytelling in celebration of Black History Month, along with resources and networking opportunities to support local businesses. We hope to see you there. All right, to the agenda, we have domestic relations up first.
Resolution number 9525, resolution authorizing a First Amendment to the 2025 grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Youth Services in the amount of $497,711.30.
Good morning, Commissioners. Barb Reeves, Finance Director for the court. With me this morning is Deja Owens, our Grants Administrator. This resolution is requesting several changes to our 2025 grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Youth Services. These changes include increasing the budget for 4 programs to account for increase in the number of youth referrals, an increase in the budget for the Juvenile Intervention Program to add a new service provider, the realignment of funding for 2 programs, and the last item is the addition of 2 new programs that were selected through the competitive reclaim process with the Ohio Department of Youth Services. The court was awarded a 2-year grant totaling $150,000, which will be used to provide additional services for the youth. Now I'll turn it over to Deja, who will talk about these new programs.
The first new program that we have is our Inner Words Empower program under the leadership of Dr. Russell Leday. He will be continuing his work with his team within the JIC and will now excitingly be expanding into the community. Dr. Leday's program addresses the critical mental health challenges faced by incarcerated and at-risk youth, particularly those from marginalized communities, by enhancing mental health literacy, fostering emotional resilience, and strengthening family relationships. The program aims to reduce recidivism and provide participants with the tools and improve decision-making and personal growth. The Inner Words program is a 5-week intervention grounded in evidence-based cognitive behavioral therapy principles and tailored to the unique experiences of our youth. Key activities include structured group discussions, mindfulness practices, skill-building exercises, and parent engagement services. Our second new program is in partnership with the National Center for Urban Solutions and African American Male Wellness Agency. Our new Racial Equity Inclusion Direct Service Program will address and intervene in the cycle of behaviors, including but not limited to petty crimes, academic difficulties, domestic violence, truancy, and substance abuse, particularly for young people who may be at risk of either initiating or becoming victims of such activities. The program's goals is to prevent future recidivism by equipping youth with the tools, knowledge, and support needed to break unhealthy patterns and relationships.
Thank you for that. If we could get the information for, because I know we are all collectively working together with the JIC for the work that Mr. Lee is doing, but also if we can make sure that you all have the information. Commissioner Boyce and his colleagues are hosting a mental health Soul Talk on February 27th that is targeted for youth. And so if we can engage our parents and family and youth to attend that through you all system, I think that would be great.
Absolutely.
If there are no further comments or questions, I'll move for approval of Resolution 9525.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 9525 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next up, we have the engineer. And we have a public hearing for Resolution 009625. Can the clerk please read the public hearing?
Resolution establishing, altering, and widening of the Groveport Road Shared Use Path Improvement Project, Madison Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed. Engineer to file plans as necessary.
I would like to open up the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here in the audience who would like to speak to this public hearing? Seeing none, I would like to close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 9625, establishing, altering, and widening of the Groveport Road Shared Use Path Improvement Project, Madison Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed. Engineer to file plans as necessary.
Good morning, Commissioners. Adam Fowler, Franklin County Engineer. This resolution authorizes the engineer to prepare plans necessary for the construction of this project and represents the second step in the legislative process. Located in southern Franklin County in Madison Township, this project is funded by the Transit Supportive Infrastructure dollars through the recently passed Link Us ballot initiative and seeks to install nearly 3 miles of bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure from Front Street and Black Street in Groveport through Groveport Park and along Richardson Road and through Groveport Road to the existing shared use path in Canal Winchester. Pending questions, I would ask for your approval.
So we have, I'm sorry. If there are, if there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 9625.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 9625 has been adopted. Resolution number 9725, establishing, altering, and widening of the Bryce Road Railroad Crossing Improvement Project, County Road number 117, Truro Township, Village of Bryce, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
In order to improve the safety of the at-grade crossing of Bryce Road and Norfolk Southern Railroad, we are working with the Village of Bryce to upgrade the roadway and traffic control. This project is fully funded by a grant from the Ohio Rail Development Commission. This resolution will declare the project necessary. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 9725.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 9725 has been adopted. Resolution number 9825, CDM Smith Incorporated, consulting engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County engineer by providing detailed engineering services for the Hot Ditch Drainage Improvement Project, Madison Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $301,656.11.
This project, funded with the OPWC dollars, seeks to improve drainage along Holt Ditch, which is located within Black Lake Estate subdivision in Madison Township. CDM Smith is a local engineering firm and was chosen via the engineer qualification-based selection process, and they will be providing detailed engineering services for this project. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 9825.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 9825 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have the Sheriff's Office.
Resolution number 9925, resolution authorizing the county administrator to sign contracts on behalf of the Board of Commissioners to allow other agencies to use Franklin County Sheriff's Firing Range and Training Academy for the remainder of calendar year 2025.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Albert Smith, Assistant Finance Director for the Sheriff's Office. Our resolution authorizes the county administrator to sign a contract that will allow Blenheim Township PD to utilize our firing range and training academy. Also, this resolution will authorize the county administrator to sign any future firing range contracts for other agencies for the remainder of 2025. Any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 9925.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 9925 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next up, we have the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Resolution number 100-25, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with Greater Columbus Sports Commission to support economic equity in Franklin County and encourage economic development and tourism through the attraction, promotion, and retention of sporting events in the amount of $177,500.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. D'Amica Withers in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The Greater Columbus Sports Commission mission is to inspire Franklin County to excel in sporting events, offering exceptional experiences for both participants and fans. This effort aims to enhance the county's image, boost its economy, and improve the overall quality of life. The Greater Columbus Sports Commission acts as a catalyst, driving the collaborative efforts in attracting and hosting a wide variety of sporting events while playing a significant role in promoting tourism and visitation to Franklin County and the Greater Columbus area. The Greater Columbus Sports Commission continues to seek events through a racial equity lens to highlight opportunities for historically Black colleges and universities, women in sports, and the activities of the African American Male Wellness Agency. This agreement will support the historically Black college and university events, the MLK Showdown Women's Basketball Tournament, African American Male Wellness Agency, and the Black Girls Run event. This resolution supports goals number 4 and number 9 of the Rise Together Poverty Blueprint. Pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval on this resolution.
Madam President.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Director. The Greater Columbus Sports Commission, does great work across the spectrum of all the things that we invest with them in. This in particular is a great investment. I'm happy to support it. I just wanted to comment that sports in general is a great investment for this board. We've over the years since I've been here, I know my colleagues have been very supportive of our investment in sports, because sports in this community and in every community, I talk about this with my colleagues across the state and across the country. Sports drives the economy for us. These particular investments are fantastic for all the reasons why this Board of Commissioners supports diversity, equity, and inclusion. But sports in general, they drive heads and beds. They drive, sports drives sales tax revenues. And this Board of Commissioners, previous Boards of Commissioners have always supported investments in sports in this community, because they bring sales tax dollars back into this community, which then allows us to be able to continue to do the types of things that we like to do day in and day out here at the courthouse. It helps us to be able to fund all the things that our deputy county administrators down at the end of the dais like to come to us and talk to us about on a regular basis.
Said it.
It helps with all the things that our budget director down at the other end of the dais likes to see at the end of the day.
These are your equalizers down here.
That's right. They offset each other.
Equalize on that side, the
That's
spenders
exactly
on
right.
that side.
That's exactly right. So I just wanted to make mention that while this particular investment is being brought by our Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, whether it's through this department or it's through the Economic Development Department, or it's through our county administrator, anytime that an investment in sports or the Greater Columbus Sports Commission. That's why one of the many reasons why I like it when we celebrate our state champions with Linda Logan, our director or our chair of the Greater Columbus Sports Commission, because the investment in sports really matters so much, and it drives heads and beds. It doesn't matter whether it's kids. Volleyball or softball, or she's bringing the NCAA Women's Final Four here, or whatever it is. When we invested in the President's Cup up at Muirfield Village, or the Hockey All-Star Weekend, or it's the outdoor NHL game between the Blue Jackets and the Flyers in a couple of weeks, which we didn't invest in, but it's still going to drive dollars to our door here. And so the investment that this Board of Commissioners can make in sports is always a fantastic investment, and I wholeheartedly am looking forward to supporting this investment.
Commissioner Boyce?
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Commissioner Grady, for really breaking down the economic impact that sports has on Central Ohio and our quality of lives. I want to take a minute to share with you, though, Central Ohio, as you know, is growing. As I've said before, there's not a place you can't go and see orange barrels on the streets or cranes in the sky. Embedded in that is the growth of us as a community culturally, and the experience of visiting Central Ohio and being part of Central Ohio. And I had the recent fortune to attend a Columbus Fury game. You wonder what the Columbus Fury is, right? So the Columbus Fury is the professional women's volleyball team. And what I appreciated most about it was not so much the competition. It was amazing. One, I didn't realize volleyball players were so tall. They're like 6'5" and 6'4". I was like, goodness gracious, the whole team on both sides were that way. And their skill level was definitely at the professional level, and it made you appreciate the sport and really get into it. I've got a niece who plays is in high school, and so I'm just really becoming a fan of the sport. More importantly, is the cultural experience of going to the game. And one, the crowd that was there was so engaged and enthusiastic about it. But moreover, it was just the experience of seeing women's sport sprout and grow at a level that I was just fascinated by. I was absolutely fascinated by. And the attendance, Commissioner O'Grady, at the arena was outstanding. It was I mean, it was well-attended at Nationwide Arena. And my point is that not only the economic infusion, but the cultural growth that we're experiencing too. That's I would say big city stuff, but I do like that new experience. And I took my niece to the game that day, but I would go to a game on my own and just watch. I would absolutely love the experience. Is great. The food at Nationwide Arena is great. To me, it was as the experience was as good as going to any other sporting event that I've been to at Central High. I mean, the crowd got up. They had different chants I had to learn while I was on the fly. But it was so fun. It was so fun. And then just the athletic competition that these women displayed was, I mean, it was, I didn't know volleyball was such a competitive sport. And I mean, anyway, so I love what the work that the commission does. And we got a great leader in Linda Logan, but even more so, a great community that supports these professional teams and amateur teams alike.
President Crowley. I would come back with to Commissioner Boyce's point on with a couple of other things. One, I spent a lot of time. My daughter played volleyball as well. She gave it up to concentrate on softball. But so I've been to a lot of volleyball matches over the last several years, including a Fury match. It is fun to watch, and several Buckeye matches. You should go to a Fury match with Mayor Ginther. Mayor Ginther goes to a lot of Fury matches. His daughter, for anybody who doesn't know, Mayor Ginther's daughter is a fantastic rising volleyball player.
She might be 6'2". I don't know.
She
She's growing.
is,
Every time I see Claire, man, she's tall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cece Ginther is she's growing all the time. She's very tall, and she's a fantastic volleyball player. You may be hearing about her someday. The other thing I would tell you is I have a T-shirt at home that I'm happy to. Well, I'll have to get one for you. I have a T-shirt at home that says "Everybody watches women's sports." Women's sports are a lot of fun. We've spent a lot of time over the years watching Buckeye basketball. Buckeye basketball team is tremendous, by the way. Buckeye women's basketball team is tremendous. Buckeye men's basketball team is getting there. But the volleyball team has been great over the years. Their softball team has a new coach. We watch. I came home the other day from the grocery store. My wife already had on. It's February. Today's February 11th. My wife had on NCAA women's softball already. So pitchers and catchers are just reporting. I think tomorrow, and to spring training. Men's, Major League Baseball pitchers and catchers are just reporting tomorrow, and women's softball is already playing in the northern teams are going down south, and it's already happening. So softball's already happening. But my daughter's high school team starts practice on Monday.
Oh, wow.
So it is that time of year. But I can get you a T-shirt that says "Everybody watches women's sports."
Yeah, and no doubt, Madam President, I watched I know we're totally digressing here, but the 3-on-3 women's
Yeah.
basketball now that's playing out, and I'm like, they found something, they found something, and so I love the competition in sports, but I could just watch this stuff all day, I don't. By the way, but I could. So anyways, yeah.
I want Logan's job. I think maybe that might be my retirement.
I'm
gig.
in line for that, but you
Yeah.
got to get in line. We're gonna duel it out for
We're
that.
going after it. I think that might be my retirement gig. I'm gonna put in for Linda's job when she retires.
The flag football.
You know who used to play for one of the women's professional football teams? Judge Page. Yeah. She was a safety. Yeah.
She's a superstar.
Yeah.
All right, well, anyway, I just wanted to make the point that any investment, as long as it's, obviously, we always need to do the homework and do the background, but any sensible investment that we can make in sports is worthwhile. It builds the economy, it drives sales tax, and those sales tax dollars come back so that Zach can take care of those sales tax dollars, and so that our DCAs can spend them. on behalf of the residents of Franklin County. But it's just they're great investments. I've always believed that, and County Administrator Wilson will attest to the fact that as long as it makes sense, I'm always in favor of spending money on sports because it just drives the economy. So anyway, if there are no further comments or questions, I will be very, very glad to move for the adoption of, or the approval of Resolution 125.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 125 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next up, we have Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 10125, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Administrator to execute on behalf of the Franklin County Commissioners the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Penelope J. Porter at 74 Cherry Street, Groveport, Ohio, 43125.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Administration. Rochelle Pride, Interim Director with Franklin County Economic Development and Planning. Penelope J. Porter received a housing assistance loan on February 10th of 2004 in the amount of $14,685 from the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. A mortgage securing the loan was filed on record in February 23rd of 2004. Ms. Porter is requesting to have the mortgage released. The original promissory note has not been located, and therefore the loan times can be identified. However, given the length of time that has passed, we believe that the terms of the loan would have permitted the discharge based on the standard yearly declining amount. Based on the facts and available documentation, the Franklin County Prosecutor recommends a discharge of the mortgages as the loan terms are not enforceable. If approved, the Franklin County Administrator, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, would execute the discharge of mortgage prepared by the Prosecutor's Office, provided that the taxes have been paid through tax year 2023. And for the record, we have broached with our Franklin County Prosecutor a plausible solution to these business matters going forward, which we will be able to brief the Commissioners and County Administration on following our general session. Pending any questions, we would ask your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 10125.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 10125 has been adopted.
Thank you. Next up, we have Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 10225, resolution authorizing the county administrator to accept the FY 2024 Justice Assistant Grant Award to Franklin County and to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the cities of Columbus and Whitehall, confirming an agreed-upon funding plan and to sign all certification and assurance documents related to the grant program.
Thank you. So Franklin County and the cities of Reynoldsburg, Columbus, and Whitehall were each awarded funds and established as disparate by the U.S. Attorney's Office, and therefore required to enter into a joint funding agreement for the total amount of $477,854 in order to move forward in the award acceptance process. The Office of Justice Policy and Programs has convened with the cities of Reynoldsburg, Columbus, and Whitehall to establish an agreed-upon funding plan memorialized in the requested memorandum of understanding. Per written communication from Curtis Baker, the Chief of Police with the City of Reynoldsburg, they have declined participation in our FY 2024 Justice Assistant Grant Program. Given their removed participations, funds originally allocated to the City of Reynoldsburg will be reallocated to support reentry efforts. The proposed FY 2024 JAG funding agreement will be allocated to support an array of initiatives up to and including public safety, training, pre- and post-reentry services, as well as administrative and management costs. Pending any questions, we would seek your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 10225.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 10225 has been adopted. Resolution number 10325, resolution authorizing a professional service contract agreement. I mean, I'm good, but I'm not that good.
I could resist. I could resist.
It's all good.
Welcome back. It's good.
Thank you so much. Resolution authorizing a professional service contract agreement with Maurice Lee for one-door project management services through FY 2024 Burn Discretionary Community Project Grant funding in the amount of $126,750.
Thank you. Mr. Lee will provide project management services to support planning and implementation of Franklin County's one-door activities and deliverables as outlined with Franklin County's funding application and the Byrne Discretionary Community Project Grant Award from the Department of Justice Programs. Mr. Lee will be instrumental in development of a detailed one-door project plan that expands operations to include our juvenile court. The expansion is designed to improve access to services and demonstrate a positive impact on youth and families. Throughout his contract period, he will also collaborate internally and externally with stakeholder organizations to collect relevant performance-related data and ensure alignment between vision and execution of our one-door initiative, as well as execute a strategic plan for this expansion and the one-door framework, and support development, monitoring, and management of the necessary sub-rewards that go out to our community partners and their procurement contracts. Mr. Lee has an extensive background, and we are confident that he will support us immensely in this matter, and he happens to be a proud member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. This contract.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I couldn't hear very well, and so.
He's a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Commissioner Boyce.
All right.
Thank you. This contract supports goal
Yes.
number.
Oh, we gotta wait to vote. I'm sorry. Okay. All right, let me stop. Madam President, I'm sorry. Back it up.
This contract supports goal number 9 of our Rise Together blueprint for reducing poverty in Franklin County, and pending any questions, we would seek your approval.
If there are no further comments or questions, I will move approval of Resolution 10325.
But the clerk says she's cutting my mic for the, yes, or second. I'm so eager to say yes,
Moved and
second.
seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 10325 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have sanitary engineers.
Resolution number 10425, resolution authorizing a private water agreement with BG and CC Development Company LLC for a private water main on Greenvale Drive.
Morning, Commissioners. Ryan Stowe, Assistant Director for
Hey,
Sanitary
Ryan, just say you're a
Engineering.
member of Omega Psi Phi.
Hey, you better show that you are. If you say it now, don't, you gotta prove that you are. It's not that easy. That was good.
He doesn't know what's
Ryan
happening.
is
Go ahead.
He's frozen. He didn't know how to respond. You may continue, sir.
He
Yeah.
hasn't been this shook up since the day that
This
Nana.
first resolution is for a private water agreement with BG and CC Development Company LLC, which is proposing a 24 single-family home development, the east end of Greenville Drive within the county's Brookside Estates service area, which is within Perry Township. The county's existing 2-inch water main on the section of Greenville Drive is not able to meet the water demands of the new development. The developer has proposed to replace the existing 2-inch main with a 6-inch water main. In order to allow construction of the water main, Franklin County and BG and CC Development Company must enter into a requisite private water agreement, which is in line with the policy adopted by the Board of Commissioners regarding such improvements. The plans have been reviewed and approved by the sanitary engineer, the Franklin County engineer, and the City of Columbus. The private water agreement has also been reviewed and approved to form by the prosecutor's office. Pending any questions or comments, we seek approval of this resolution.
If there are no further comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 10425.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 10425 has been adopted. Resolution number 10525, resolution authorizing a service contract with Certisite LLC for backflow device repair services in Galloway, Ohio, in the amount of $8,400.
So through the Board of Commissioners, the Department of Sanitary Engineering owns, operates, and maintains the water distribution system at the ongoing development known as Villages of Galloway, located in Prairie Township. Water for this development is supplied by the City of Columbus and sold to the county. As a requirement of the connection into the city's water supply, backflow device must be installed and tested on a yearly basis to ensure it is functioning properly. The backflow device was found at the end of 2024 to be in need of repair. The Department of Sanitary Engineering has obtained 3 estimates and found Certisite to be the lowest and best contractor to meet the needs and the timeline of the county. The services contract in the amount of $8,400 has been reviewed and approved by all parties and has been approved to form by the prosecutor's office. As part of this resolution, the county administrator is authorized to sign this agreement. Pending any questions or comments, we ask approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 10525.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 10525 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 10625, resolution authorizing contract modification number 3 with R&S Haley and Company Incorporated, doing business as Darby Creek Nursery and Landscaping, to provide snow removal services at designated Franklin County facilities in the amount of $750,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Director of Public Facilities Management. Public Facilities Management is responsible for the facility and property needs of the various agencies and offices of Franklin County. Resolution number 89822 authorized a contract with R&S Haley and Company, Inc., doing business as Darby Creek Nursery and Landscaping, to provide snow removal services at designated Franklin County facilities. Due to the amount of snow removal services required since the one-year contract extension that was approved in November of 2024, additional funding is necessary to cover the cost of snow removal services, if needed, through the end of the current one-year term. This modification will add $250,000 in funding to the current term, increasing the total amount of the contract to $750,000. Pending any questions, PFM respectfully requests your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 10625.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 10625 has been adopted. Resolution number 10725, resolution authorizing a guaranteed maximum price amendment number 1 to the contract with Elford Incorporated to provide construction manager at-risk services, including construction services for the Franklin County Critical Master Plan Implementation Project Bundle 1, in the amount of $3 million.
On January 7th, 2025, Resolution number 725 authorized a contract with Elford, Inc. to provide construction manager at-risk services for the Franklin County Critical Master Plan Implementation Project Bundle 1. There is an established 15% SCBE aspirational goal, but Elford, Inc. has committed to achieving 20% on this project. This resolution authorizes guaranteed maximum price GMP Amendment Number 1 to establish an allowance for the specific sole purpose of early procurement of long lead time materials and equipment associated with the 911 Communication Center to be relocated to 900 Hague Avenue, such as Evans consoles, doors and frames, louvers, automatic transfer switches, HVAC equipment, glass and glazing, etc. Elford, Inc. shall hold all subcontracts. We appreciate the assistance provided by the Purchasing Department and the Prosecutor's Office with this contract. Pending any questions, PFM requests your approval of Guaranteed Maximum Price Amendment Number 1. Thank you.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 10725.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 10725 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have purchasing.
Resolution number 10825, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $22,744,935.44.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing, and joining me is Andrina Austin, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This resolution requests your approval, Commissioners, of 253 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. And I'll turn it over to Andrina for the SCBE data.
Thank you, Megan. Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. 12 of the purchase orders being presented are being awarded to small and emerging businesses totaling $618,962.75. These awards are dispersed as follows: 3% to women-owned businesses and 1% to minority-owned businesses. Once approved, 6 agencies will provide equitable and inclusive opportunities to small businesses this week, and these agencies are the Clerk of Courts, Court of Common Pleas, the Engineer's Office, Job and Family Services, Public Facilities Management, and the Sheriff's Department. Year-to-date, Franklin County Board of Commissioner agencies have awarded 76 purchase orders to small and emerging businesses totaling $3,107,875.77. And pending any of your questions or comments, we respectfully request your approvals.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 10825.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 10825 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Resolution number 10925, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $240,092.20.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 7 purchase orders. The county auditor has pre-certified available funding, and pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 10925.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
Resolution number 10925 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's note abstention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 11025, resolution reappointing Julie Exner to the Franklin County Conservatory Joint Recreation District Board of Trustees.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Administration. Michael Ruhrman, Assistant Director of Community Appointments. This resolution seeks to reappoint Julie Exner, a member in good standing, to the Franklin Park Conservatory Joint Recreation District Board of Trustees, with a term expiring January 31st, 2028. Pending any questions, we respectfully ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 11025.
I just want to say, Michael, it's so good to see you.
It's good
You
to
know,
see you.
It's really good. We've missed you. You know, come back. Come back.
I wasn't going to, but I might.
That's good, sir. Michael. Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 11025 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any journalizations today?
We have 2 today. Case number ANX-03-25, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition, ANX-03-25, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on February 5th, 2025. The petition is requesting to annex 68.129 acres from Brown Township to the city of Hilliard. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on March 18th, 2025. The sites are 7345 Hayden Run Road, PID number 120-000231, and Hayden Run Road, PID number 120-000233. Case number ANX-04-25, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition, ANX-04-25, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on February 5th, 2025. The petition is requesting to annex 295.86 acres from Madison Township to the city of Groveport. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on March 18th, 2025. The sites are the following: 5910 E. Bright Road, PID number 180-000959, E. Bright Road, PID number 180-000437, Sims Road, PID number 180-001486, Sims Road, PID number 180-00329, Sims Road, PID number 180-0000326, and Sims Road, PID number 180-00212.
Thank you. Are there any members of the media that has any questions? All right. Hearing and seeing none, that concludes our business for today. Have a happy Tuesday.
Commissioner Boyce is definitely going to have a happy Tuesday.
Yeah.